Hey guys, morning. How's it going? Today is Tuesday, November 23rd. We got about 12 minutes till market opens. We do have some time. I'm going to set up this room real quick and then we can get started. So we got that set up right there. So here. All right, cool. While I set up the room, I'm going to set out this link here for you guys in the premium so that you guys can join the Zoom. Let me get this all set up right here as well. All right, looks good. So I think people are making their way into the room right now. We get a few minutes for people to make their way in. And we'll see where it goes from here. All right, cool. People are making their way in. So good morning, guys. I'm going to let people make their way into the room. We've only been on for like a few minutes, so give it a few minutes for people to join. And then once everyone's in the room, we can get started with our analysis of US 30. All right, so it's 6:20 right now. We got about 10 minutes till market open. As you can see, price is really close to the Asia high, so it's a bit risky right now where price currently is, because when price gets close to these previous session highs, price usually goes a little haywire once it gets close to it. So 6:20 right now. In the next 10 minutes, we'll see where price ends up. However, for the most part, I think we're good with everything right now. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes for people to make their way in. Once people are in the room, we can start with our analysis. So morning, Fumi. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Orain. Morning, Paul. Nice. Paul just got his credentials for his funded account. So Paul is now funded. Congrats, Paul. You just got to make sure to stay consistent and to continue what you were doing prior, right? Because what happens is, what I see a lot is a lot of people, they will go from trading, however they did to get funded conservatively, and they get too, they start to trade a lot riskier and they start to take shortcuts. And I've seen a lot of people get funded and blow their accounts right away. So like one thing to keep in mind, Paul, is to just, stick to the game plan. So no matter what happens, you're funded now, just stick to the game plan. And as long as you're consistent as you did for your challenge and verification, you should be completely fine. Because, you think about it right here, like say, for example, you have a $200,000 account, right? A $200,000 account. Like what it took you to get funded and verified was to make 15%, right? So for example here, if you made 15% consistently every single month, that's a $30,000 profit. If you were to do that consistently every single month, which is possible because you did it to get funded. So if you can just stay consistent and just continue doing this, this is how much you can, potentially make a month, as long as you, stay consistent to what you did to get funded. So, just keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind, because I do see a lot of people, as soon as they get funded, they want to be a millionaire by tomorrow, right? So they go and take bigger lot sizes, they take riskier trades. And what happens is that they blow their account before they know it. So, just stay consistent and don't overdo it. So good luck, Paul. And I look forward to seeing your funded profits shortly. Morning, Matt. Morning, Peter. Morning, Jay. Morning, everybody. Morning, Beded. Yeah, no, exactly. Paul said, I don't plan on trading anything unless everything lines up. Yeah, exactly. So you're going to start trading like how I am, right? I'm very conservative with my trades. I only choose winners. Like literally, I know there's a lot of trades that could possibly be winners and they do actually hit, but once you're funded, you start to trade a lot differently. You start to look for those almost guaranteed trades. Hey, Professor, morning. Morning, G. Morning, Patrick. Morning, everyone. People are still making their way in, so we'll get started with our analysis shortly. It's 6:23 right now, so we got about 7 minutes till market open. Saren just sent me his pre-market profits over here, locking a total of 516 euros today. So great work, Saren. Keep it up, bro. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. And Professor, I did see your message, so I will get to you after the live session. I just got on the computer right now, so I haven't been able to look at any of the messages, but I did see a couple of messages from Professor, and I did see a message from Rav as well. So Rav, if you're in here, I will get to your message after the live session. Other than that, I think that's it for now. So let's get started with our analysis. So looking over here at retail sentiment, it's currently 55% short, meaning that there's 55% of retail traders who are currently in a short position right now. That just puts price in a neutral position because 55 short isn't very much, right? 5% can move to the long side and then it'll be 50% long. So there's really no bias here on the retail sentiment. I'm not seeing very much bias this entire week. You guys got to keep in mind that this week is Thanksgiving week here in the US. It's one of the biggest holidays that we have here. So you're not going to expect a lot of people to be trading. So volatility might be a bit low as we get closer to Thursday, where the market is going to be closed for Thanksgiving. So other than that, going over to the futures data over here, currently it is 50 points in the green. It's not very heavy bullish, but it is bullish right now. Also going over here to the news, let's check to see where the rest of the futures are sitting. Currently, the Dow is up 53 points. S&P is unchanged. NASDAQ is currently 35 points in red. Oil is up 1 point, and the 10-year bond is up 1.6%. So other than that, I mean, the entire index right here is just, it's not one-sided at all, right? Generally, we like to see when it's all green or when it's all red. Currently, right now, they're kind of mixed. The Dow is up, S&P has moved at all, NASDAQ is down. So when the market opens in 5 minutes, we can determine, which direction it decides to push. Going over to the charts here, looking at the technicals, currently price was bullish here because price was above pivots and the trend meter was green. However, this candle right now currently is pushing below. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to shift and reverse to the bottom side. This just indicates that, price is currently, it's currently just pulling back. So going over to the 3-minute, it's still bullish here. You can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is also green. So this indicates that it has a bullish bias here on the 3-minute. Going over to the 10-minute over here. And guys, they're having a Black Friday sale for TradingView. I buy my Black Friday like every year. So if you guys want to update or upgrade your TradingView, I always pay for mine during Black Friday because it's 60% off if you get like the highest one, which I do. I get the premium one. If you guys don't have TradingView or if you guys are looking for a deal, the TradingView price is the best during Black Friday. This is the best sale that they have, and it's going on for like a week. So you guys saw on my screen, it said subscription modified, because I just added on another year for like half the price. Because normally the premium I think is like 500 or 600, and I got it for like 290 I think, or something like that. So yeah. All right, other than that, let's see, the 10-minute over here is also bullish. So like I mentioned earlier, 10 minutes bullish because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. 3-minute is bullish because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. For the 1 minute, it's indecisive right now because it's kind of just bouncing back and forth. Kind of pulled back a little bit, but can be swinging right back up shortly. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. But we will see what happens when the market opens in the next 4 minutes. Other than that, I think that's it for now. So let me just check the chat real quick, see if I missed anything. Let's see. Morning, Fahad. Morning, Al. Morning, Miles. Morning, Mauricio. Morning, everyone. So yeah, hopefully you guys are having a great week so far. It's just a bit. My market is just a bit slow right now, but it should pick up in a bit when the market actually does open. You can see right here it's starting to pick up a little bit, but you can see how choppy the market is, right? If you just zoom out, you can see how choppy price is just going back and forth all throughout London session. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put all the strategies here that we're applying during the live session so that you guys know what to look for. We'll see if we can possibly take the breakout. I'll make some changes here to my parameters. So the market is currently going to open in about 2 minutes. When the market does open, we can start looking for a possible entry over here. Our first entry would be the breakout. After that, we'll be looking for snipes in the daily. So we got that there. And then Lastly, we got the daily right here. The daily, let's see. So the daily didn't come up yesterday by 9, but if you did take the daily late, it actually came up right here. So if you guys took the daily late, the original way that we apply it, it would have hit full TP right there. However, our new, requirement cutoff time is 9 o'clock. So I don't think, well, I know some people took it. Whoever's like an original member of K2, we used to apply the daily a long time ago. It would have hit full TP if you took the original strategy. But the updated version with the cutoff, there was no entry that was available there. So what else we got over here? Henry's asking, do you upgrade to premium on MT4 platform? MT4 doesn't have a paid platform, Henry. They're just a trading platform that you can connect your broker to, but they don't have. I don't think there's a paid version of MT4. It's just a standalone platform. I do have a premium trading view though, so that's one that I have that's premium, but the other stuff isn't necessarily paid for with regard to MT4. All right, market is opening in about 17 seconds, guys. So we'll see what happens when the market opens. Currently, we'll be looking for a strong bullish move, or a strong bullish candle actually, for the breakout. However, it's currently bouncing off the London low, so it might just bounce all the way back up from here. But who knows? We'll see what happens next. The market is now officially open. So price is dropping right here. However, if the price doesn't close below here, it'd be a risky breakout. You can see prices starting to swing back to the upside. So yeah, looking at current price right here, in order for us to have a breakout for a sell, price we need to close it as a strong red candle with little to no wick on the bottom side, and it would probably need to close below this London low here. Right here, if we get a buy signal and it's a strong green candle, that would technically be a breakout for a buy. So we'll see what happens here, but you can see price is starting to bounce around pretty heavily. Looking over here at the fundamentals, fundamentals are currently 21, 31 points in the green. Not very strong, but it is bullish. So huge push to the upside right here, which is pretty much what we were anticipating pre-market, right? I was looking at the higher time frames and it was bullish. It was just 1 minute that was kind of choppy. So looking at this right here, huge candle. You guys kind of want to be very careful if you guys decide to trade during this this big push right here. So this technically would have been the breakout, but I wouldn't have taken it because it's currently at the and obviously this is exactly why it's currently at the Asia high. Plus this candle is too big. When a candle is this big right here, it's usually gonna have to pull back a little bit like it's doing right there, right? So this candle right here was about a 600 pip push. You can see price pulled up, rejected off the Asia high, pulled back a little bit, and then now it swung right back up. So like I was mentioning before, this is technically the breakout here because we have a buy signal. It's a strong green candle, but it's not one that I would necessarily take. There's a lot of different red flags here. Red flag that it's currently rejecting off the Asia high. Another red flag that this candle is too big, so it's due for retracement. And the other red flag is that this just happened right after it was like dropping. So one good thing is that it's pushing in the direction of the fundamentals. So it does line up with like what we technically would be looking for. But yeah, this would technically be the breakout right here, which I wouldn't take. It's just too big of a candle. It's gonna have to pull back a bit. If it pushes up all the way, then that's great. But I wouldn't want to take a candle this big because you can see here that it's pulling right back. And that's not the type of trade that I want to be in because it becomes too risky when market is too volatile, meaning it'll just spike back and forth really quickly. So we can easily spike back down here to where it originally was, and then it'll just spike right back up. It's just not worth the risk. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for this to stabilize and smoothen out. Once it smoothens out, we can start looking for regular entries for the most part. I'm gonna go here to the 10-minute. I'm gonna draw some zones to see where this step over here is going. Yeah, I know Paul said I was so tempted to take a breakout. Yeah, you should just wait, Paul. I'm gonna wait too because the market is just too volatile right now. It's not really worth taking the risk, especially with you since you're now funded. Your thought process changes once you get funded. Like that's why I'm so careful with my trades because the thing is like one mistake could lead to losing your funded account. You definitely don't want to do that because you work so hard to get that funded account. Only some people will understand that. I know some people will still take the crazy risks, even though I try to warn you guys as much as possible to be careful once you are funded. Because the thing is, guys, if you guys get funded and then you blow your funded account, you're just gonna have to go and get another funded account. You're gonna go another month without getting any profit. So, you know, even if you have to use a smaller lot size, use a smaller lot size. Whatever you can do to maintain and to avoid losing your funded account. That should be the main thing for you guys. All right, so looking at this right here, see how it came all the way back down? This is exactly why I wouldn't have taken that, because this candle is just too big. And then on top of that, it's just too volatile. So you can see price coming back down here. It might just reject off the low, or it might break right through it. This market is crazy. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit it out, honestly, and wait for something to confirm the direction. There's like no confirmation. I think this is gonna spike back up, or maybe it might not. Actually, it broke below the London low, so it might not even come back up. It might come back up for a retest, but it did retest it again right here already. But yeah, the market is super volatile right now. You guys just got to be a little careful if you guys decide to take any trades at this moment. I would just wait, because you're basically gambling at this point, because you don't know if price is going to swing back up or if it's just going to keep dumping right here. Yeah, this thing's hard. Eunice said that it's rejecting strongly off the 3-minute and the 1 hour. Let's pull up the 1 hour real quick. So looking at the 1 hour over here, yeah, it's rejecting off the pivot. Nice catch on that, Eunice. So price came up, tested this pivot, and then rejected super hard off it, came right back down. On the 1 hour, it's bearish right now. So these rejections are pretty strong when it, when it bounces right off it. I think that's super key. If you like look at these right here and you see it reject off these pivots, it's usually a really strong rejection off it. So that might be a good confluence to look at, guys. Like, say, for example, if you're entering a trade and then it's rejecting off one way, you can probably anticipate it to keep dropping or keep pushing that direction. But yeah, I'm not going to mess with them with anything right now. Nothing like, there's nothing worthwhile right now, because if you guys look at the current price, it's getting close to the New York low down here. So what might happen is price might push down to the New York low from yesterday, and then it might bounce off this. So you guys just want to keep that in mind. There's a lot of different, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of red flags right now. Yeah, like Eunice said, I personally don't take trades when it is at the 3rd and 4th pivot on 30-minute and 1 hour, because it can reject. I agree with you 100%, Eunice. And that's why I usually use, I don't usually use all the pivots. I usually only use the red and orange, because those are the strongest pivots. So like, for example, here, if I take these off and you just look for when price rejects off those specific pivots, rejections are pretty strong off them. Whether it be a rejection from the bottom side or a rejection from the top side, generally, those rejections are pretty strong for the most part. Like if you look at these wick rejections off here, it usually pushes right off them. So definitely, definitely something to look at there. But I'll keep all of them on here for the 1 hour, because they help with identifying where the minor rejections are happening as well. So as you can see right there, price came down exactly to where we marked it off the New York low, and then it's kind of like bouncing off it right there. Gallo said, I think something's wrong with my K2 momentum. So what's wrong with it, Gallo? I'll probably help you troubleshoot it if you can give me some details as to like what's wrong with it. All right, so price is currently at the New York low right now. See what happens shortly if it bounces off it. But there's obviously just no entries that are available right now. I mean, there was an entry that was available right here for the pivot scalp. It's not one that I would take, but it is, if you're looking for any recent entries here, I turn this off. This would have been an entry for the pivot scalp or the 1 minute. It's not one that I would take, obviously, but I'm just showing you guys that it's right there. Also with this buy over here, this would be an entry for a pivot scalp as well, for a quick buy using this strategy right here. Confirming a valid K2 momentum signal, confirming that it's above or below the pivots, and then pretty much just riding it from there. But other than that, market is super choppy at this moment. So we're gonna wait for it to smoothen out before we really look for any any entries. Because since prices dropped pretty far below here, it might just swing right back up. Let's go over here to the clean chart. I'm gonna go and just draw the time. So market opened right here at 6:30. Here's 8. Here's 9. Here's 10. And here's 12. All right, so looking at this right here, market open price was right over here. So if price comes back up, which is possible, right? Price can come back up. If it comes back up, it'll do one of two things. You know, it's the same thing that happens every single day. Price will either go back up, retest this area, which is the opening price, and when it retests it, it'll either push up or it'll bounce off it, right? One or the other. And you can see prices coming right back to opening price right now. Price just broke above the New York low, and it's swinging back up. This is why we're being patient. We're waiting for a direction to be set. There's really no direction right now. Price is kind of just whipsawing back and forth pretty heavily. Let me check the news real quick to see if there's anything going on. I just saw that Amazon just mentioned that there's news in 5 minutes. Thanks, bro, for confirming that. So we do have flash manufacturing PMI at 645, and then flash services PMI at 645 as well. So thanks for confirming that. At 7, we have Richmond Manufacturing Index. And then I think that's pretty much it for the most part today. But yeah, these are going to be medium news right here. So it'll probably affect the market one way or the other with regard to certain stocks that are within the index. So just refreshing this right here. The index is currently 22 points in the red. It's not very strong for a bearish move, but it is bearish right now currently. Looking over here at the actual stocks, there's not that many stocks that are, I mean, it's pretty half and half, right? Half red, half are green. Home Depot is down 4 points. Salesforce is down about 4 points. Microsoft's down 3 points. Nike's down 2 points. Walt Disney's down 2 points. Amgen's down 1 point. And Walmart's down 1 point, as well as Apple. Looking at the green stocks over here, a couple green stocks: Goldman Sachs, Boeing, Travelers, JP Morgan, Chevron, McDonald's, United Health. That's pretty much it. So it's pretty much right down the middle. There's like half stocks that are red, half stocks that are green. Obviously, there's a couple here that are a bit stronger on the red side, but looking at the average over here, it's not too far. It's only 26 points in the red over here. So let's see. But you can see prices kind of just going back and forth. So you guys just want to be careful with entering anything new right now. Obviously, you guys want to be cognizant as to how price is moving and not be entering trade right away, especially shortly. So it's coming up. You can see our price is currently rejecting off the London low. At this point, price might break above or it might come down. So you can see right here, price is now currently at the opening price. You can see the big rejection off there. That's kind of what we were expecting, right? We're expecting that rejection off the opening price, which happens almost every time. I've seen a lot of people that take some risky trades here. They just catch the little rejection off it. It's not one that I would recommend because sometimes it doesn't stop or swing back. Sometimes it just breaks through like it did right here and then continues to push to the upside. Other than that, let's see. Eunice said, should we take the low into consideration at 317? I'm trying to see where 317 is, Eunice. I'm not sure where that time is for you because you're probably on a different time zone. So it doesn't look like 317 for me. I don't know if you're referring to this. This is 636 for me. I'm trying to see where your 317 is. Going to 317 on my time over here. I don't have it on mine, I don't believe. Actually, this one right here. Okay, so you're talking about my time. Yeah, you're right. So I personally wouldn't, well, the thing is we're testing a lot of different strategies right now with regard to, because there's a lot of opportunity that's been open with me creating this new indicator with regard to the lower lows. There's a couple of things that I've been looking at with regard to the lower lows. I think you guys have seen before, there's something that I look at where if I see a lower low and then it's followed by a strong green candle, it usually indicates that price is going to continue pushing up higher. So if you want to use that as a confluence, you can use that, you know, if it helps you. Like for example, here we have a higher high and it's followed by a red candle. I would anticipate this to drop right after there as well. So lower low here, strong green candle, push to the upside. Lower low, strong green, or there's no strong green candle there, so we would skip that. Higher high, red candle, a strong red candle, and it pushes down lower. So, I mean, that's a confluence that you could use. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it, Eunice. So there's ways to use it. I mean, yeah, you can take it into consideration, but I haven't tested it far enough to determine how accurate or how useful it is to use those as you know, as something specific. Well, obviously, you can use it as a confluence. Say, for example, you have an entry here for a buy, and you want to see if this would push up further. You can use that as a confluence. It definitely does work. However, there's not one strategy or one technique that I use with regard to higher highs and lower lows just yet. So anyways, going back to this chart over here, you can see that price broke above it. You can see the markup right here, right? So I mentioned that when price reaches this point, price will either bounce off it or will continue pushing up. Looks like price is attempting to push up higher from here. There's no confirmation yet. Price will do one of two things at this point. Price will either come back down or price will continue pushing up higher. We'll see what happens, but there's no entries that are necessarily available at this point. Also, we have news coming up in 1 minute, so it's not one that I would personally be taking just yet. You know, just probably have to wait a little bit until you get that confirmation. Jennifer said, when you say don't take trades during news, how long before and after do you generally suggest to wait? News, you have to wait for price to react to the news, Jennifer. So like basically if the news happens at 6:45, you want to see what happens X amount of minutes after it, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. So we have a news event happening right here at 6:45, right? You want to wait to see if price makes a big move to the upside or to the downside after that news event has happened. So for example, here you can see that price is kind of moving a bit bullish right here. It's not a huge bullish move, but it is moving a little bit, right? You can see how it's moving a bit stronger now. News is probably positive. So if you see a big move like this, then you can just wait for price to stabilize. Like say, for example, the news happens right here, and then you measure it and you're like, okay, this is like a 300 pip move. When price starts moving smaller than that, like it goes back to like 200 pip move or 100 pip move after, then you can probably start trading because the price is probably, it's done being affected by the news, right? That's something that you just want to look out for. There's no specific time frame that you want to wait for because something could happen where price will just go sideways for a bit, for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, and then it'll have a late reaction. Price will just spike from there, right? So there's no specific time that you wait for it. You just have to wait to see how price reacts to the news, because price generally reacts to the news one way or the other. It'll either be positive or be negative. And if price hasn't reacted to it, you want to wait for price to react to it so that you can, you know, make an educated decision as to regard to where you decide to trade, because you don't want to be trading in the direction of news. You generally want to be trading where it'll correct back to where it was prior. So the first news right here was neutral. The second news right here was negative. So not really much of a change there. You can see prices kind of pushing up. So basically what I would do here is, you can see how I drew the line over here, or you can see it was a bullish move. It was bullish pre-market or pre-news. And then when it got to the news event over here, it kind of just flattened out, right? Because it got to this Asia high. So when something like this happens, what I'm looking for is, I would probably look for price to come back down to where price was before the news event happened. So the news event happened here at 6:45. It was a bullish move, right? You kind of want to see if price is going to continue pushing up higher, or if it's going to come back below to where it originally was and then drop below that. Because one of two things will happen. Price will continue pushing, or it'll just drop back to where it was before news happened to correct to where it was prior. And there's no specific time period for that. Like for example, right here, price is currently, it pushed up and then now it's kind of just flat. You know, it can come back down at any moment. It can come back down in 5 minutes, it can come back down in 10 minutes, come back down in 15 minutes. But one of two things will happen. It'll either continue pushing up or it'll come right back down to where it originally was. So that's something that you kind of want to look for. Because whenever price is manipulated due to the news, which happens a lot, I mean, it probably wouldn't happen for something like this because this is, it's just some, it's not, I wouldn't say it's small news, but it's not anything super heavy. If it was something like NFP or something like Biden was speaking or Powell was speaking or something like that, you know, something high impact like this, core PCE price index. If price ends up spiking during this time, you don't want to see if it comes back to where price originally was, or if it continues to push up higher. So it just depends on the news event, Jennifer. Not all news events are are high impact. Some news events are like not even any impact. So it's something that you want to look for. But there's just going to be a point of time. So for example, here, price just continues to push up higher after the next couple minutes or so, then price is probably going to keep pushing up higher. That's the direction. But it just really depends on the news event and how hard how high it impacts the market. So you can see it's starting to push up super heavy right now. News event happened right here. And this is how you start to predict like how price moves during news. Because you'll just go to news events and you'll see these news events happen every month, right? Like let's see, today was the flash manufacturing PMI. This happens every month. And you can see here that it is now, it's actually now positive. It was neutral at first, now it's positive. So that's why you see it pushing up higher and higher, because the news was deemed positive and people hopped into that buy. They're like, oh, it's positive news, so it's gonna have to push up. And then, it just pretty much followed after. Because you saw it prior to, right, it wasn't even this one actually, where was it? It was this one right here. It was neutral. But they were forecasting it to be lower, or they were forecasting it to be a little bit higher. It was previously 58.4. It was actually higher, so it was positive, even though it's not green. And then again, right here, this was also negative as well, where it was 58.7. Now it's negative. So it kind of just balances its way out. Other than that, we'll just wait to see what happens here. So you can keep an eye on this if you want, Jennifer. At 6:45, you can see how we have a red candle right here. You can keep an eye on it to see if price ends up coming back down. If it doesn't come back down and it continues pushing up, then that's probably going to be the direction for price. However, if price comes back down, then price might just consolidate a bit before it chooses its direction. Other than that, let's see. Scroll up real quick. Charlie said 3-minute daily pending, caught it for 300 at a 1 lot. Nice, Charlie. So going over to the 3-minute right now. So yeah, this technically right here would have been the daily. I didn't catch it, but Charlie did. So nice work right there, Charlie. There's a couple confluences here that indicated that it would push up like that. For one, we had a buy signal. So here, I'll break down exactly how many confluences were good for this trade here. And it looks like it already hit full TP. Yeah, it hit full TP already right there for 250 pips. So going over here, there's a lot of different confluences. So one confluence right here is using the K2, basically the original K2 momentum strategy. So like, for example, right here, we have a buy signal. It matches with the trend meter down here. So this would qualify as a buy entry using the original K2 momentum intraday strategy, which can be used on different time frames. So there'd be an entry there using that strategy. Another strategy that would have been applied here would have been the K2 pivots, K2 US 33-minute pivot scalp strategy. So for example, we have a buy signal here. That's the first requirement. Second requirement, confirm price is above the pivots for a buy. So buy signal here, it's above the pivots. That'd be another entry for a buy. So if you took that there, another entry for a buy there. The next one would be the daily right here that, we're currently just forward testing. It's not an official strategy, but it's one that we've been looking at. And that would indicate that this would be another buy here, because looking at current price, market opened here at 6:30. We look for the first valid K2 momentum signal, which would be right here. And that would qualify for this entry here. Look for entry after New York Stock Exchange opened 6:30 a.m., which is this blue line. Confirm the first valid K2 momentum signal is your valid buy signal here. And then you would enter on the open of the following candle, which would have been right here. So this would technically be an entry using the daily entry off the 3-minute. So we had an entry off the momentum strategy. We had an entry off 3-minute pivot scalp strategy. We have another entry here off the daily. So that's 3 confluences right there, right? It's 3 strategies that line up with each other that all look good for the most part. I'll probably take out the small lot size and I'll just write it up a little bit and see. See if I could. No, it's too late. I should have entered it when it was down here, but it's okay. I'm not going to enter it. I'll just follow it. If it pulls back down, then maybe I'll enter it late. So what I might do is if it pulls back down here, then I'll probably put like a buy stop there and it swings back up. I'll just let it fill it for me, and then I can ride it back to the upside. But as you can see here, there was about 3 different entries that were available. Another confluence that's good here is that it broke and closed above the Asia session high. So that gives you another confluence there. You have about 4 or 5 confluences there. Also, Looking at the trend, price is trending up on the 3-minute, 1-minute, and 10-minute. So there goes another confluence there that it's bullish, and it seemed like a good trade. Also looking over here at the fundamentals, it's currently up 93 points. So there's like 5 different confirmations there indicating that price is going to continue up higher. Yeah, so we got a little bit here. So I'll probably enter this late. I'm gonna wait for it to, maybe if it does pull back. If it doesn't pull back, it's completely fine. I'm just not gonna enter it. But if it does pull back, then I'll probably get in later. The last thing you want to do is enter late at this point, and then it pulls back. Then you're like, damn, you're in drawdown when you could have just waited for it to pull back and then enter it later. So yeah, no, I mean, it looks good for the most part. It's just too far in profit already. Last thing I want to do is enter and then it pulls back, and I could have just waited a little bit longer to make this trade. But it does look like a good trade. So whoever's in this trade right now, I mean, it looks good for the most part. I just don't recommend that you guys enter this late, because what you should do at this point, if you're already in the position, you should move your stop loss and profit to protect your position and guarantee your profits. Because the thing is, today's gonna, I mean, not just today, but this entire week's gonna be unpredictable, right? You're gonna see a lot of irregular movements, especially like this morning. These big spikes back and forth for no reason. So yeah, if you guys are in this position, I mean, it looks good, Charlie. I'm not sure if you're still in it, but I'll put an alert there to notify us if and when it hits TP, which I do think it's gonna hit. 3-minute breakout, full TP. Oh, you got out already? Yeah, it's all good. There you go. I should have just hopped in late, but it's all good. I know myself. Like, I know that I shouldn't be entering trades that late, and because it's just risky, right? So Noel, I see that you're in the position. If you're in the position, I do recommend moving your stop loss and profit so that you can guarantee your profits, and then you can just ride it all the way if it does push to the upside. But it's up to you guys. Like, I give you guys my recommendations of what I would personally do. So if I was in this position now, I'd move my stop loss and profit so that you have like no stress, right? You're not stressing, because if it pulls back and hits you at a profit, then you're fine. You made profit. But if it does hit full TP, you're great. The only thing that you don't want, that you want to protect yourself from, is if price swings down and then it goes into the negative, then you would have like regretted not moving your stop loss in profit, or just pull out now if you're happy with your profits, Noel. Because the thing is, it's so close to full TP already. Like, if you don't feel comfortable about it, I would just pull out right now and take your profits, because you're only a few pips away from full TP. And it just hit TP right there. So full TP for whoever took the breakout. That was a great call right there, Charlie. I didn't even spot it, but the reason why it was such a good trade was because so many confluences pointed in that direction. We had like 3 entries, plus we had the bullish confirmation for the technicals. We also had bullish confirmation for the fundamentals. Everything looked pretty solid right there. So great work to everybody here. I mean, there was a bunch of entries that were available at that point. I'll give you guys an update in the group for whoever caught it. Seems like a lot of you guys did. Yeah, no, definitely Noel. Noel said yes, sir. Smooth like butter. Yeah, so great work, guys. I mean, for whoever caught it there, looks like you guys did pretty solid. Nice. D said the high low just hit on the 1 minute. So great work off that too for whoever caught that. I missed a couple trades myself. It's okay. I'll catch the next one. Yeah, so looking at the profits here, looks like Noel locked in some nice profit, locked in 122 for the day. Nice work, Noel. Looking over here, Charlie locked in a total of 763. Nice work, Charlie. Brian over here locked in a total of 4,275. Nice work, Brian. And you can see Brian's consistency here. He's still keeping up the consistency, all wins. Pretty much blue days every single day. 2,000, 1,000, 5,000, 1,000, 3,000, 1,000, 4,000. Great profits every single day, Brian. Keeping up the consistency here. And you can see his chart right there as well. So Gotti over here too. Gotti's currently up 2,190. Nice work, Gotti. Albert over here, locked in a total of 1,211. Nice work, Albert. Noel now currently up 210. Great work, Noel. So nice profits amongst everyone here. Gallo here as well took the buy and the sell, locked in a total of 648. Nice work, Gallo. Nico over here too. So looking over here, Nico just passed his FTMO. Nice, Nico. So Nico, we have another member here in K2 who just passed their FTMO. Passed in 1 day right there, 1 trade. So great work right there, Nico. Straight push to the upside, or not just one trade, but a couple trades. But right here, yeah, pretty much in one day to gold, US 30, profit total of 5,953. So amazing work right there, Nico. Keep it up. Other than that, I think you guys are good for the most part. Maddie here too. So Narith over here currently at 4,685. Nice work, Narith. Then we got Maddie over here, all wins, total of 874 for the day. Great work, Maddie. All right, guys, so you guys are doing pretty good so far. If you guys have more profits, go ahead and send them in. Otherwise, we will continue to look for more trades here. So yeah, you guys are right. The high low just hit right there. So I'll be looking for any other trades at this moment. Unfortunately, I missed both of the trades. I missed the 3 minute and the 1 minute here. I was too focused on the other chart. But it's all good. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here still profit. The trades come and go, guys. There's no need to chase the trades. Like for example, in 3 minute, I knew this was probably going to push up, but I didn't even chase it, right? I just held back because I knew that this week is going to be a bit of a risky week due to the holidays. And that's the kind of discipline that you guys need sometimes. I know that this would have been a great trade, but knowing that I'm disciplined and I know not to chase trades when I know that they're risky could have saved me from being in a bad trade, even though it was a good trade. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Nice. Paul said he got in on 3 minute late entry at the small lot size. Nice, Paul. So enter that right there. Yeah, Maddie said I entered and it entered me 5 points higher than the entry. Came out in profit though. Yeah, Maddie. It's because of the spread, man. The spread's probably crazy right now due to the volatility. So that's something that you guys do want to keep in mind if and when you guys are entering these trades. Other than that, let me see if I missed anything here. Maddie, this would have been one of the entries for the strategy that we've been looking over. Noel said, when does market close again for the holiday? I believe it closes. I'm not sure what time that. Well, because depending on which market you plan on trading, the market technically closes on Thursday if you're trading US 30, because the New York Stock Exchange is closed on Thursday. But if you're trading Forex, I think it closes at like midnight, or I don't know what the time is, but it's like weird times. It closes like Wednesday, like really late, and then it opens like Thursday night, because the time zones are different. So in Australia, it's like afternoon for us. Noel, it's going to be daytime for Australia. So for them, it reopens like Thursday at like afternoon. So, but I wouldn't recommend trading during those times at all, because volatility is going to be very low. But just to have an idea of like when market does open and close, it's going to open and close. It's going to close on Wednesday night, I believe, and then reopen on Thursday morning, or no, Thursday afternoon. Sorry, it's just like another 24-hour period from there. But yeah, I don't have the exact times, but I just wouldn't trade during those times anyways. I did see Professor's question above here. Professor wanted me to analyze the daily. So let me pull up the daily real quick, Professor. Looking at this over here. Technically, there would be a buy entry off this right here, Professor. I probably wouldn't take it. Well, I haven't been taking the daily at all lately because of how price is currently moving. Price is just kind of bouncing back and forth. This daily right here technically would be a buy entry. I don't know if anyone's in this position right now. You might be looking at it right now, Professor. But yeah, this would be a buy entry right here. Looking over here at the fundamentals, currently the fundamentals are 66 points in the green. So it is bullish, but it's not very strong. Generally, we want it to be above 100 points. Over here, looking at retail sentiment, currently there's 55% of people who are short. So as you can see, a lot of the volatility in the market is not necessarily from retail traders entering and exiting the market, right? It's the same number of percentage right here from market open. It hasn't changed much, even though prices have been moving back and forth. So a lot of the movement here is not from retail traders. A lot of it's from the market makers, institutions, usually pushing price around due to the short week. They're trying to make their money before the holidays, because a lot of them are going to be done trading probably by tomorrow. So a lot of this volatility right here is just bank orders getting filled and stuff like that. Because just looking at this here, there's just not much happening with the retail traders. Nobody's really entering or exiting trades. It's the same people who've been holding it for like the past couple of days now. I think this whole week, retail sentiment was sitting around. It never went above 60%. So it's only been moving like 1 or 2 percentage points back and forth. So usually this, what indicates this to me is that there's a lot of retail traders who are just buying or selling and holding, or buying and holding. They're not necessarily thinking about making any day trades. They're just holding for long term, or probably throughout the entire week. But who knows? We'll see what happens there. But yeah, looking at this right here, Professor, there is a buy here. Looking at the requirements, you look for the first entry, or you look for the entry after the New York Stock Exchange at 6:30 a.m. You confirm the first valid case momentum signal, which should be right here. And then you enter on the open of the falling candle, which would be right here. So basically, if you're not in the position yet, you can still enter it, it's still available. However, I do think it to be a bit risky because the fundamentals aren't very strong for the bullish side just yet. I mean, they are bullish, but it's not very strong yet. So if you want to enter that, Professor, I'd probably enter with a smaller lot size, for one, because it's a bigger move, and for two, that there just isn't very much confirmation. There's a couple of stocks here that are very green, like United Health Group is now up 6 points. Goldman Sachs is still up about 4 points. Traveler is up about 2.4. Caterpillar is up about 2.9, and Chevron's up 2 points. So they're obviously outweighing the red stocks, but I don't know if this is going to be enough to push it all the way up before the end of the session. So if you do enter this position, I do recommend when it does move into profit, which would be, here, let's do this. I'm just going to set alerts here so that you guys can, fix this real quick. I'm going to set alerts here so that you guys know when to move your stop loss in profit. So let's see. So let's see, we got this right here. This is going to be the daily. So I'm setting alerts here so that you guys can know when it hits TP for whoever's in this position. I don't necessarily take these bigger positions anymore because of how the market's really move. Market's like super volatile back and forth. So I prefer to just take the smaller trades because I can make a lot more profit that way. Versus just taking this for a smaller lot size and just letting it run, because this trade can run for like 24 hours in some instances. But yeah, if you want to take a, Professor, if you're already in it, I do think it's going to push up. I just don't know how far it's going to push up. That's why I'd recommend being a little careful if you're in it with regard to moving your stop loss in profit. Because I see a lot of people who don't move their stop loss in profit, and it blows my mind because they'll be like 2 or 5 pips away from full TP, never move their stop loss in profit, and then it reverses on them. So you guys just always got to remember to protect your position, use proper risk. So TP1's right here, TP2's right here, full TP's right here. If you guys remember the exit strategy that we generally use. So I'll keep it updated right here, Professor. When it hits TP1, I'll give you guys an update. It technically hit TP1 already right here off the opening, off the first candle, and then it came back down. So if you were following the exit strategy, you probably would have been pulled out in profit already. However, if you're not in the position yet, you can probably enter late, just have like a buy stop there, or you can enter for a discount. It's really up to you, however you manage your risk. But let me go back to the other charts over here, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, so nothing off the 3-minute here. Going back to the 1 minute, it's going to move my zones a little lower. Or not zones, my high low. So this is a variation right here, Maddie. Yeah, I missed that variation. That'd have been a good entry right there. Oh, nice. So you caught it right there. Cool, cool. Hey, Maddie, I think we should probably just focus on what we're already been applying. So I think we should just focus on the high, low, and the variation, because I know we keep trying to look at new stuff, but I feel like this stuff that we have already is perfect. We don't really need to enter anything. Because so like me and Maddie, if you guys know Maddie in the group, me and Maddie have been like looking at different ways of applying the strategies, and we've been coming with so many ideas, but like the stuff that we're already applying works perfectly fine. So I think we should probably just focus on these and just find ways to make them better. All right, so this is now the new low down here. Nice. Yeah, Noel said high low been doing crazy for me lately. Yeah, no, exactly. It works pretty good. I mean, usually that's the main one that I use, but I use it in conjunction with the other strategies too. Like for example, if I have a high-low entry, I see if it lines up with like a pivot scalp or with a momentum entry, and if that lines up, it's almost like 100% going to hit. So that's why for me, I use like I don't necessarily just look for one strategy. I look for multiple strategies that line up at the same time, and if they line up at the same time, odds of it hitting are like very likely. Other than that, let me scroll up real quick, see what else I missed. Okay, so Chris, see, Chris said, hi, Sean, I want to ask you some things. My trend meter is not showing the same as yours on the 1 minute. Do you know why that could be? It's probably your settings, Chris. So going over here to the trend meter, if you're trading intraday, that would be the default setting. So you probably have it set to intraday. If you're trading intraday, your default settings would be 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, because you want the trend to show you what's moving long term, right, for the rest of the week or rest of the couple of days. If you're scalping, you just want to know what's happening during this specific time frame, right? Because you're taking these quick moves. We're only going for like 100 pips, which is equivalent to 10 points on the 1 minute. So you don't really care what's going to happen 30 minutes from now, an hour from now, 2 hours from now. So if you want to switch yours to settings with regard to scalping, just go to your settings here and change them all to the same as chart. And then it'll give you the current trend on the trend meter versus the overall trend. So that's like that's one thing to fix. Your second question here said, can I get proof for, so that indicator that you're asking for is not an actual indicator. That was just a back testing script that we used when the original strategy was created. It's not necessarily used for anything anymore, Chris. So that K2 systems alerts isn't an alerts indicator. To set alerts on your trading view, you just go to alerts here, and then you set your condition to K2 momentum, or it'll say K2 TS or K2 momentum. I think for you, it's K2 momentum because you signed up a lot later. And then you just change this here to signal fired. So it'll give you a buy and a sell signal. And then you can have this set to once per bar or once per bar close, whichever setting you want. And then you can have your message set here to like K2 or whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you like, K2 momentum. And then if you're on the 1 minute, you want to make sure that you put 1 minute there because this alert's going to be for the 1 minute. So once you have that, you set create, and then every time an alert comes up, it'll give you an alert like mine is due over here. So like looking at this right here, these are what my alerts look like. I have the K2 momentum, signal fired once per bar. This means that, and you can see right here, see how the alert comes up? It says US 30 1 minute momentum signal. So every time this signal here comes up, it'll give me an alert. If you want it to just alert you when it closes, you can do it once per bar close. For me, I like having a head start, so I want it to give me once per bar, even though it hasn't closed yet. And that's how you would set the alert here. So if you want one on the 1 minute, you set it to the 1 minute. If you want one on the 10 minute, you go to your 10-minute chart and then you set the alert there as well, so that you can have one for the 10 minute. And then if you want one for the 3 minute or whatever time frame you want to trade on, you just go to the 3 minute and you do the same thing there. Set alert, K2 TS or K2 momentum, signal fired once per bar close, and then you set your message down here. And that's how you would set it up on TradingView. But yeah, that indicator that you mentioned, that one's not in use anymore. That was just used a long time ago when we first back tested our original strategy, just to confirm, its accuracy, and we don't use it anymore after that. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, Maddie said, yeah, true. The strats we have right now are more than solid. Yeah, definitely. RJ is asking, hey, Sean, how can I find the that high-low indicator on TradingView? If you're talking about this right here, RJ, the one that says higher high, lower high, like these right here, that's a K2 high-low indicator. So that's one of the K2 indicators. If you want access to that, you'd have to have access to the K2 indicators. And I think you do. I'm not sure if you do or you don't, but if you do, you would just go to indicators here, go to invite only scripts, and then you'd have all the K2 indicators right here. But if you don't have that and you want access to the indicators, because we have like a bunch of indicators here, pretty much everything on the chart here is a K2 indicator. If I turn all these off, this is pretty much a blank chart. So we have a K2 trend meter down here. We got the K2 momentum indicator right here, which are the vertical lines. We got the K2SR indicator that identifies rejection points. We have the K2 pivots right here, and it indicates the trend and then rejection points when price pivots off them. And then we have the K2 sessions indicator here. It pretty much indicates where the previous session high lows are. So like right here is the Asia low, Asia high, New York low, New York low, New York low as well. And then the one that you're talking about is the high low indicator right here. So this will just indicate when price swings up and swings low. So we've been using this right here to use a high low strategy, basically this one. And if you want access to that, you just go on the website and you just upgrade it to the indicators. So if you guys are new here and you guys want access to the K2 indicators, pretty much to learn how to trade exactly how we do, you just go on the website, k2trades.com, click on K2 strategies, and then you could have access to them right there. And that's pretty much how you guys can unlock the K2 indicators that we use for pretty much all of our strategies here. All right, so let's see if there's anything else over here. Yeah, so nothing really available at this moment. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving my low a little lower. So this is the new low down here. And then we got another high right here. Basically what I do personally when I trade is I draw the highs and the lows until they're broken or invalidated. So for example, this low right here was invalidated because this candle here touched it and it bounced off. It didn't close below it, so it didn't qualify as an entry. So I took off that low. This low right here was invalidated by this one as well because price came down off this candle, touched it, and then bounced up. It didn't close below it, so it didn't establish as an entry using the high-low scalp. Now, this is now the new low right here. So as new lows get established, I just create new lows. And then what I'm looking for is I'm looking for, like, for example, here, if I get a buy signal here, then I want this to push above here and close. If it pushes above here and closes, then at that point, I'm looking for a buy, right? I'll take the buy and I'll write it up. Vice versa, if we get a sell signal, which we currently have right here, if this sell signal still continues because we have momentum coming down, then I'll be looking for it to close below here. However, if we get a buy signal and price comes below here, I'm not looking for any sells. I'm trading in the direction of momentum because I want to keep riding it. You can see right here, if you turn these off, you can pretty much see where momentum moves, right? So momentum, we get a buy signal, pushed up. Momentum sell signal, pushed down. Momentum buy signal, pushes up. Momentum sell signal, pushes down. So I'm still looking for sells until this closes. If this closes, then my bias changes from a buy to a sell with regard to these little scalps here. Because we're looking for the quick moves. We're not really looking for those big moves. We're just looking for a move that's big enough for us to catch 100 pips or so, right? Because 100 pips and you're trading a 10 lot like I'm doing, that's 1,000 in profit. If you can catch a couple of these a day, you're pretty much solid. So right here, so we have a buy signal here. We're waiting for it to close above this line. If it closes above this line, then we'll have an entry here for a pivot. We have a couple entries here. So like looking at this here, if this closes, we have an entry using the momentum strategy. We also have an entry using the high-low scalp strategy, and then we have another entry using the pivot scalp. So if we get a buy signal here and it closes above, then I'm for sure going to take that buy. But it needs to close above here. That's going to be very key. I'm not going to enter at this point because it can bounce off this Asia high, which it did right here. We need that to be a strong one, meaning it closes above this area. All right, let's see what we got right here. All right, so price right here, you can see how price touched it and it came back down. This invalidated this high. So this is no longer the high. This is now going to be the pending high. So we got to wait for about 4 or 5 candles to pass this way. Once it passes, it'll establish this as the new high. But if it touches it again, it's going to invalidate it, and then we'll just have another high to be looking for. So it's just about being patient off this right here. Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw your message. Yeah, I seen it too. Yeah, no problem, RJ. Glad I can help you with that. Steven said he still loves the snipe strategy. I do too, Steven. When it hits, that's the thing. The problem with the snipe strategy is that it's kind of hit or miss sometimes, right? Like for example, right here, we do have a snipe entry that's available right here. So if you're looking at this like Steven's looking at it, it does work. It's just a bigger move, so it's a little more risky, but it still works perfectly fine. So there we go right there, Steven. I'm not sure if you're in this position right now. It's just in a bit of a risky area because if I turn off my drawings right here, you can see that it's bouncing off the Asia high, right? It's not something that I really want to trade at because It's just, it's an area where price just keeps bouncing back and forth. If there was no Asia high right there, I would probably take this buy. But either way, it looks like it's probably going to hit. So you might even be in this position right now, Steven. And if you guys are wondering what Steven is looking at and what he's confirming here, basically for the snipe entry, you want to confirm a wick rejection off the pivot, which is right here. You want to confirm a wick rejection off the K2SR zone, which is right here. And this is using all the K2 indicators. Last, you want to confirm that the wick rejecting off the pivot doesn't touch the body. So you want to make sure that this pivot isn't touching the candle body, which it isn't, obviously. And lastly, you just want to confirm you're trading in the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. So for example, right here, we have a buy signal. So you're only looking for buys. Right here, all the requirements are met. You would enter the buy right there. TP stop loss is 101, 500 pips. And more often than not, it does usually hit. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the position right now, it does look good, Steven. But I just find it risky because it's so close to this Asia high right here, which can easily just bounce off it. So that's a red flag why I wouldn't take the trade. And you guys know how I trade. I'm very conservative. That's why we have such a high win rate, because I don't just take every single trade. I analyze everything from top to bottom. I make sure 100% that it's going to hit. This here, I probably give this like maybe a 75% probability of hitting because it's bullish. Everything here is also bullish. Fundamentals are probably bullish as well, or not really. I mean, it's kind of bullish, not very strong. So that's another red flag right there. If this was like over 100 points, then I would take it. But right now it's not that strong. Also looking at the futures data, same thing, it's only up 4 points. So it's not very strong. Also looking at the retail sentiment, it's not a strong bias either. So if I had more biases, then yeah, I would take a trade. The main red flag is the fact that it's at the Asia high. So that's why I wouldn't take it, because it can bounce right off. So other than that, let's go back to the 1 minute. All right, so this high was broken again. This is now going to be the new high, which is completely fine. So we got 1, 2, yeah, it's 2 candles right here. We need 2 more candles after it, and then it'll establish this as the high. And then from there, we can catch it as it swings up, closes above there, and then we can ride that higher. But other than that, price is kind of just moving a little slow, right? So that's why for me here, it's really a game of patience, guys. A lot of people don't understand that, and they just want to enter everything that they see. But the main key here is just being patient and waiting for those perfect entries to appear here. Let me go back to the questions here. We got a couple other questions. And here's one thing too, guys. I see a lot of people they always forget about the third requirement here. Just because price breaks and closes past these high lows doesn't mean there's an entry. You also have to make sure that you're trading in the direction of the momentum, because the thing is you don't want to be going against it, because you might be price might just swing right back in the direction of momentum. So you definitely want to trade in the direction of momentum. So for example, here we got a sell signal. I'm only looking for sells at this moment. If we get a buy signal, then it'll shift. I'll go from a buy to a sell, but currently right now I'm still looking for a sell. So I'm looking for this to come below here and close below here. If it closes below here, then I'll start looking for an entry from there. However, until it closes and confirms, then I'm not going to be taking any trades. It's pretty much just me waiting for those confirmations. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. I saw it too. Yeah, Charlie said variation might be pending. So there's another strategy that me and Maddie have been going over. I've actually been applying it for a while, but Maddie has been changing it up a bit. Like me and him have been making it a little easier to apply. Basically another variation it's a variation to the variation. Once we test it enough, maybe I can explain it to you guys, but currently right now it's a work in progress. Me and Maddie, we were like basically back testing and testing things out all last night to figure out what worked, and this kind of seems like something new that we can introduce to you guys. It's not necessarily a strategy on its own. It's more so like an extra confluence if you decide to take a trade using any of the other strategies. So let's see over here. Yeah, so great profits amongst everyone here. So we got a couple people here who posted their profits right now. We got Paul over here. Paul got his full TP off the NASDAQ. Has 3 trades, 1 loss. So pretty much all of these hit for him for the most part. Albert over here hit full TPs and profit a total of 2,145. Nice work, Albert. Nathan over here. So Nate got a total, damn, Nate got a total of 4,888 for the day. Nice work. He's doing his challenge. Great work right there, Nate. Damn, this is about to pass. You passed already? I see, Nate. Where you at? So Nate, you're almost done with your challenge, bro. I think this is a 100K account, right? Trying to see. You're doing a 5 lot. So it looks like you're doing a 100K account. You're just like 120 bucks away from passing your challenge, bro. Yeah, crazy. Nice work, Nate. So Nate's about to be done. So we're gonna have another member here who just passed their FTMO. We got like 3 members that passed yesterday. We got another 2 members that passed today. We got another member right here who's about to pass. He's only off by like 100 bucks. So nice work right there, Nate. Albert again, currently up 3,399. Nice work, Albert. And then Paul again over here, a total of 1,004. So great profit right there amongst everyone. Looking over here, Maddie's currently, yeah, so Maddie's looking at the entries right here. Total of 1,630. So this is from today, actually. So Maddie over here, my bad, Maddie, I just saw your messages right now. He locked in a total of 1,228 first, and then his second profit up here, total of 1,630. Nice work, Maddie. So good profits all around right here. Jay over here as well. Jay's this is one of our K2 members that cut my hair yesterday. So guys, look, like I'm here to support all you guys too. Like we have members here who have other businesses, like Jay, he cuts hair. You know, I got my hair cut by Jay yesterday. Jay's currently in profit 1,048 right here. He got some nice sells there. And then again, right here, he locked in a couple more. He said, done for real. I'll take that last scalp. So he took the last scalp there. He's in profit a total of 2,211 right here. Great work, Jay. And you guys are killing it today. Patrick over here too. Patrick's currently up 747 off one account. And then his other account, he's up 1,227. He said, market's tough today. I'm tapping out. Probably smart move, Patrick. And then Albert again over here, total of 5,154. Wow, you're killing it, Albert. On point with all these trades here. So Albert is killing it. Patrick's killing it. Everyone's killing it. Great work, guys. This low right here has been invalidated. Reason for that is because we got this new low here. So this one's been invalidated right here. This is technically, I mean, it's technically could be a variation for whoever's looking to take it, but I think it's gonna be a little risky due to the fact that it's currently at the London low. So if you guys are familiar with the variation, you might want to wait for it to close above the London low. But I mean, we'll see what happens here. I'm like tempted to enter it too. So I don't know who's in this variation, but kind of tempted. Yeah, I haven't really taught the variation, but some of you guys, well, I mean, I've explained it to you guys, but it's not really one that I'm necessarily looking to teach people straight out the gate because it's a risky strategy. But I've seen a lot of you guys do really well with it. So let's see. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take it because look how far I dropped right there. Not a good move. So what I would recommend, guys, is you guys just stay close to the high lows. But you guys want to keep in mind that these session high lows right here are very risky too, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of red flags in the market today. That's why I'm kind of, I mean, I haven't even taken any trades myself. I'm just waiting for any possible entries. I didn't take any trades last night. I didn't take any trades today because I knew the market was going to be risky. And you guys just want to be very careful with these entries here. Yeah, there's a session low right there. Yeah, I think the main risky part right here, guys, is that we're trading in between like where the session highs and session lows are, because it's just there's a lot of areas here where price can just bounce off. So this is exactly why I was talking about this area right here. This is why I probably wouldn't. Well, I mean, I didn't, but why I thought this would have been a risky trade, because even though price broke above it, you know, it still was considered risky. Because what happens at these price points, guys, like this is usually where I usually avoid trading any positions, where any of these lows are, like this London low or this New York low, this London low, and this Asia low. Because if you look at price, whenever price gets near these Asia lows or whatever lows, highs, lows of the previous sessions, price will bounce off it. So like, for example, right here, Price came above it, came back down, and then it bounced off the Asia low and it shot right back up, right? Came back for another test right here, bounced right off and shot right back up. Looking at price right here, it came down and tested right here and it bounced right back up, right? So same thing right here, opposite. When price broke below it, it came up, tested it, bounced right off it. And it just keeps bouncing off it every time price goes, you know, from whatever session high, low to the other. And you guys just want to be careful when you're trading around that area. You basically want to wait for it to break out of this area. Like for a sell here, you probably want to wait for it to break below it and then continue moving down here to take more sells rather than trading in this area here where price would just continue to bounce back and forth, right? Bounce up, bounce down between here. So, you know, just something to keep in mind, guys. A lot of this stuff I don't really think about. It's kind of just second nature to me because I already know what I'm looking for and I know where it's risky. So the more and more that you guys, you know, ingrain this into your thought process when you guys are analyzing the charts, the easier it'll be for you guys to avoid risky trades. Like one here that could happen at some point. But currently right now, there's still no entries off the high low. Like for example, this right here wouldn't have been high low because it would have invalidated with this one. However, if price does go sideways for a bit here, and then finally does close below, then that'd be an entry using the high low for a sell. Nice. Arain said I had a 1 minute signal on my chart. I didn't see on your chart. I took it and it hit full TP. Nice work, Arain. Yeah, if you guys are using different broker data, you probably have different signals on your chart, which is completely fine. You know, it's just you're just gonna have different signals. Sometimes it's more accurate, sometimes it's less accurate. I just found that from my experience trading, currency.com has the best data. So that's what I use for my analysis here. This right here wouldn't be an entry. And the reason for that is because this low right here was never established. You can see that the low just adjusted, right? If you guys saw that, the low is here, but this one here broke it. So now this is now the new low. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, no, the cut came out pretty clean. The next thing here is from Paul. Paul said made another 1,000 with a 1 minute scalp combined with the high low strategy, and he's done for the day. So just like what Paul just mentioned here, those are probably the best entries, guys. One thing that you want to look out for is if you get a high-low scalp and it lines up with the pivot scalp. If it lines up with the momentum entry as well, then that's almost like a for sure. Like here, I'll show you an example of like these trades that I'm waiting for that are like almost guaranteed to win. So like, I mean, there's no guarantees in trading, obviously, but looking at this right here. So as you can see, there's a low right here, right? So going over 1, 2, 3, 4, or actually, I don't know if this one counted. Oh, we wouldn't have counted this because, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we wouldn't have counted it because it wasn't established. But using this, for example, if this did count, there's so many different entries that could have lined up with this. Like, for example, right here, we have a sell momentum, right, on the trend meter, and we have a sell signal here. So we have a sell momentum signal with the red trend meter. This is going to be an entry using the intraday strategy, the original intraday strategy, which can be used on different time frames. It's not necessarily just on 30-minute. So there would be one entry here using that strategy. The second strategy that would qualify would be the pivot scalp because we have a sell signal below the pivots. And then, for example, if this was a high-low scalp strategy, that'd be 3 entries off 3 different strategies off this one candle here. If I was to see this here and I saw it and I would have taken it, I would have been very confident that this would hit. And as you can see right here, price would have went straight to TP with like literally no drawdown. And that's kind of what you guys want to look for here. And that's what I'm looking for most of the time. Because for me, I take about 1 to 3 trades a day, but they always hit. Like I rarely lose when I trade because I'm waiting for those perfect entries. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of entries that you guys can take. Like, for example, let me see if I can find one here. I think that's the one that I just looked at. So for example, here, you can see an entry, right? Or this would be another good entry too, actually, because this is another momentum entry because we have trend meters green, momentum's a buy there. And also it's an entry for the pivot scalp because this buy signal closed above the pivots. So this would have been another good entry here for a buy if you decide to take that there. because you have two strategies that line up. Generally, I'm looking for about 2 or 3 strategies to line up with each other. And if they line up perfectly, then I'm like almost for sure going to take that because it's going to be like almost a guaranteed hit. Um, and that's usually what I'm looking for. I'm looking for as many confluences as possible so that we can almost guarantee the wins. Because the thing is, like, trading is more so about, and people see this differently. People probably, beg to differ. But for me, I basically look for, when I trade, I'm just looking to win, guys. I'm not looking to lose any trades. If you can focus on not losing and just winning trades, then your profits will come regardless, right? If you're focused on going for those big wins and you don't care about how many times you lose, then you can only lose so many times till you lose your account, right? That's why, for example, some people get mad because we use a negative risk to reward. Like, for example, this isn't an entry here, but I'm just going to drop. So our risk to reward on the 1 minute is a 1 to 3, right? Which is like opposite of what everyone else does. People do the opposite usually. They do a 3 to 1, right? But what people don't show you is that they're using a 3 to 1, but they're losing like how many trades, right? Because the stop loss is so tight. So they're losing 3 trades. If they lose 3 trades, they pretty much lost what we would have lost as 1 trade. But the thing is, if you don't lose and you just keep winning, it's perfectly fine to use a negative risk to reward, right? Because your strategy is different. And that's what people don't show you. Like for me, I don't like losing trades, guys. Like for example, if you're going for a high, you have a wide TP but a small stop loss, you're probably gonna get stopped out a lot of times. And I don't like that loser mentality. I don't like to lose trades. I don't like to lose in anything I do. So that's why that's how the strategy works. It works for us because we don't lose very often. But it just doesn't sit well with certain people. So like depends on how you trade. If you can trade like this and you can handle the risk and you understand the thought process behind us using a negative risk reward, then it would make sense to you. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't force this on you to learn because you're probably not going to get it, or you're probably just not going to like doing it because you're going to feel so risky every time you guys take a trade. But yeah, that's the difference between these strategies here. But great work right there, Paul. Because let me see if Paul posted his profits. So Paul posted his profits here. He took a high-low scalp with 1,000 right here, and he combined it with the other entry where he locked in both of these here. So he locked in 2 entries here off NASDAQ. So let's go to NASDAQ real quick. I'm just going to show you guys that this strategy works both ways. So Paul actually likes trading NASDAQ. Let me go to the NASDAQ real quick. Or is it at US 100? So I'm trying to see what entry Paul took. Looks like he took this one right here. One, two, actually, is this right here? Okay. So Paul right here, you guys can see I usually trade US 30, but Paul likes to trade NASDAQ, right? So looking at this over here, I'll put the same requirements. So high-low scalp, and then also pivot scalp as well. So right here, what Paul took was this trade, this candle right here, and there's actually another entry that was available here too, Paul, which is the momentum entry. So using the intraday strategy, we have a sell signal, trend meters red, right? That's one entry. So that's one strategy right there. The second strategy that Paul used was the high-low scalp. So right here, we have price that breaks and closes past this low. We have the low established right here because this was low 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, it's a clear low that's been established. You confirm the price break and close right there. Confirm a sell signal right here. You're trading the direction of momentum. And you confirm price isn't ranging or consolidating. Price was ranging and consolidating within this area, but ever since price broke below it, it broke out of the range, right? So lastly, you just want to confirm that this price point was never touched prior to that. So this would be an entry using the intraday strategy, entry using the high-low, and an entry using the pivot scalp. So all these strategies right here are lined up for a sell, and that's what Paul took. Paul took this sell right here. I'm not sure how many pips you went for, Paul, but I'm assuming you probably went for like maybe 100. So after you enter that right there, full TP off that right there. And that's the trade that Paul took right here, where he made 1,000 off NASDAQ 100. So a lot of people here who are familiar with like how this moves here, this is exactly what's applied, right? Pretty much he's looking for the same thing that we're looking for on US 30. He's just applying on NASDAQ. So the same strategies for US 30 work for NASDAQ, they work for FOREX. I mean, they work for whatever you want to trade. It doesn't matter. But for me personally, I like to trade US 30, so I stick to US 30. If you want to use it on NASDAQ, it's completely fine. You can use it for that as well. And I think it's probably a good move because sometimes NASDAQ is moving a lot smoother. Like for example, right here, we have, let's see, there's a high here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that wouldn't be an entry. A low right here. There's actually another entry here. Paul, I'm not sure if you caught this one. But yeah, this one right here too. So right here, we had a price break and close below there. That'd be an entry using the high-low scalp. We also have a momentum signal right here. So this would be a previous intraday entry and then a previous pivot scalp as well. So if you took that there, that looks like that would have been a nice entry as well. About 100 pips. And it's like, I'm kind of intrigued now. I kind of want to trade on NASDAQ now because it looks like it's been moving a lot smoother. So maybe if US 30 is not moving as smoothly, man, there's a lot of entries here, Paul. I could see why you've been trading on NASDAQ lately because there's a lot of entries that have been coming up here. It's interesting. So yeah, what I might do next is if US 30 kind of moves kind of choppy like it's been moving lately, I might just move over to NASDAQ for a bit and see if there's anything else here that we can apply because these same strategies work perfectly fine on NASDAQ as well. Nice. All right, back to US 30. If you guys have any questions, drop your questions in the chat. I haven't taken any trades myself right now, so I'm still waiting for something to come up. US 30 just, it's not moving as smoothly as we wanted it to. There's a lot of entries here that could have been really close, but they didn't fit the requirements. Like for example, the sell signal right here, wouldn't have taken that because they didn't, it touched it and validated it. This is the new low, but there would have been another pivot scalp entry right here, which I missed, unfortunately. I missed it a couple minutes ago. Let's see. Yeah, I totally missed that trade. So looking at this right here, this would actually qualify as an entry for the pivot scalp. Confirm a valid K2 momentum signal. There's a valid sell signal right there. Confirm it's below the pivots. It's below the pivots right here. And then you'd enter right there. So you could have entered that trade, would have hit full TP. And then I would have used the intraday strategy as a extra confluence. So for example, here we get the sell signal, trade meter is red. Everything's pointing towards the downside. I probably would have taken this and it would have been a nice TP with no drawdown. But fortunately I missed it, but it's okay. I know there's going to be other trades available, so I'm not necessarily chasing these or really being upset that I missed it because there's going to be more trades that come along the way. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Gallo here just posted his profits, locking a total of 850 for the day. Nice work, Gallo. Other than that, Arash is asking, Sean, I'm actually watching your YouTube. Can you please talk about how and when you start trading for New Year? Nothing changes, Arash. Trade the same way all year round. Nothing changes at all. I mean, yeah, nothing really changes. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Same strategy, same thought process, same everything. I think that's the problem with a lot of traders. They don't have the consistency. You guys think just because it's a new year, you got to change the way you trade. You don't have to change the way you trade at all. If you have a strategy that works all year round like we do, you can continue to trade the same way you've been trading in February of last year, May of last year, March of last year, summer of last year, summer of this year. It doesn't make a difference. We've been trading the same way for this entire year, Arash. I know you were in K2 like years ago, or not a year ago, maybe a year ago, not years ago. And I know trading was different back then because we used to intraday trade. But for scalping, you don't have to change anything. It works the same way all year round. So not sure if you're still here on the YouTube, but I'll message you later if you missed it. But yeah, we trade the same way all year round. We moved to scalping last year after COVID because the market started to slow down a bit. And then we just stuck with scalping since then. It's just an easier way to trade. Also, it's less risk because you don't want to hold on to a trade and then it ends up reversing on you like a week later and you're super upset that you didn't close out in profit. Because that was happening a lot post-COVID. Market started to move a little irregular, slowed down a bit. So it was more so, we just kept scalping all throughout. We just continue to scalp. Now it works out perfectly. And we trade this way all year round now. So yeah, I think that's it for this right here. Yeah, no problem, Arash. Glad I can answer your question. I'm glad to see you here back at K2 too. So I know you took a break from trading and then you're finally back with us here at K2. Yeah, so hopefully I answered your question. Let's see. D said, we say Happy New Year and keep it rolling. No, exactly. D 100%. You know, like it doesn't matter if it's a holiday, a new year, or anything, guys. I'm still going to be trading. I don't know about you guys, but you know, I got profits to make. Doesn't matter if there's a holiday or anything. Even if I'm on vacation, I'm gonna bring my laptop. I'm still gonna be trading in the morning with you guys here. I mean, it doesn't make a difference for me because it's not that difficult, guys. You wake up at 6 o'clock, you trade from 6:30 to 8, and that's pretty much it. You lock in 1 or 2 trades, and you pretty much have your vacation paid for at that point. Right here, there's a variation. So if you guys remember the variation entry, I'm not going to take it, but some of you guys like taking the variation, and there's one here that's pending off it. Let's see if there's anything here that I'm missing. Let's see. Yeah, that was a nice variation too. I don't know if Maddie's there. Maddie, I knew Maddie was gonna take it. Maddie's smacked. Yeah, no. Some of you guys like applying this variation strategy. I mean, it does work very well. It's just there you go. Right below. I'm just not really taking any risky trades right now, but yeah, the variation right there would have hit full TP easily. Nice. Orion actually took it too. So yeah, if you guys have been sitting in on the live sessions, like lately, I've been going over this variation strategy. It's not one that I necessarily plan on teaching guys as an official strategy, at least not yet, because it's just too risky of a strategy. I mean, it works very well and it's super lucrative and it's volatile, but you know, like I was mentioning, it's just too risky, guys. It's not one that I necessarily want to be openly teaching to people because I already know people will get greedy and they'll take shortcuts. Nice. Orion said he took it, another 500 for the day. Nice work, Orion. That's key. It's really key right there. See if there's anything else here that I got to cover. Yeah, so if you guys have questions, it's 7:45 right now. I usually get off the session by 8. So if you guys do have questions, drop your questions in the chat, and then I will answer your questions for you. Otherwise, you know, I'll be logging off soon. Let's see what else I missed over here. Let me move this over here real quick. Calculations. All right, solid. All right, guys. So I think that's it for right now. If you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to drop the questions in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like I'm going to be logging off shortly. Let me see what I'm missing over here. Other than that, yeah, if you guys do have questions, you know, feel free to message me through email. I do have a couple of emails that are sitting from yesterday. So if you guys emailed me yesterday, I haven't gone to your emails yet. I will try to get to you by today. But if you guys want a quicker response, just message me on Telegram and I'll try to get to you quick as soon as possible. I know Rab, you sent me a message. Professor, you also sent me a message. So I got a couple emails to and Telegram messages to respond to. But other than that, I think that's it for the day. So another reminder, guys, we're going to do the mentoring session tomorrow. So I'm thinking about tomorrow at let's see. So yeah, tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm thinking about doing the mentoring session probably around 1. So if you guys can make the mentoring session tomorrow, I'll put up. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'll put up or right now I'll put up a poll in the group. I'll see who can make the mentoring session. If you guys can make it, you know, great. If not, it's okay. We'll set it for next week because I know it's kind of hard for people to make it with the holidays this week. It just keeps getting pushed back as people's, you know, availability changes and stuff like that. But I know a lot of you guys want to have that mentoring session. So I'll put up a poll in the group and I'll see if yeah, exactly. So Professor here said won't be able to make live mentoring session. I'll be getting ready for Thanksgiving. So what I'll do is I'll see what works for everyone. If it doesn't work for majority of the people, then we'll just hold it again for next week. And I know, sorry guys, it keeps getting pushed back, but I think next week might be like, a solid day where like everyone can make it because it's after the holidays. And yeah, I'll try to, well, I don't know what GMT time is. Let me check real quick. Time zone converter. Yeah, so if you want to see what the different time zone is, I mean, just go to the like a website, the timezoneconverter.com. Basically like 1 p.m. my time, which is Pacific time. Like all my times are gonna be based off Pacific time. I can't base it off another time because I'm not wherever you're located. I don't use GMT here. We use, so 1 o'clock p.m. is gonna be equivalent to, and I'm not sure which GMT are you. You're just like GMT normal or GMT +1, +8, depending on where you're located. I'm not sure where you're located, but you can put like your city there or wherever you are. I don't know if you're in London. You're probably not London, but you probably are London. It says GMT. So if you're London, that'd be 9 p.m. So I don't know if this might be a little too late for you. But yeah, if you guys want to use a time zone converter, I'm Pacific time. So if I ever post a time, it's going to be off Pacific. And I just don't want to put GMT because the problem is I put GMT, everyone's going to be confused because I've been posting PST like or PDT every time. So there's no problem with it, but I'll try to post time zone converter every time I post my time so that it can match up with whoever, wherever everyone's located. Because I do notice that everyone here is kind of located in different areas, which makes it a little difficult for us to line up times. And that's why the dates kind of mix up because this is a big holiday for us in the US. A lot of the US people can't make it. So I'll put a poll in the group, and then if not, we'll just set it up next week on a better day and a better time for everyone. So other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next live session. If you guys have questions, feel free to message me on Telegram or email me. Hopefully the market smoothens out tomorrow. I don't think it's going to because tomorrow is a holiday, or it's not a holiday, but it's the day before the holiday. So you're probably going to see a lot of low volatility in the market. So other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next live session. And if you guys have questions, just feel free to reach out and I'll talk to you guys soon. So see you guys tomorrow for the next live session.